Well, after 4 months of waiting, from being one of the first backers, to all the production and delivery delays, to a slight misconfirmation of my address, which was fixed in the nick of time, to finally receiving my long-awaited Kickstarter reward at my doorstep the morning of the 23rd last week. And boy, oh boy, was it worth the wait. I wanted to wait until now to make the video though, because I was still waiting on my 5 booster decks to be delivered, which arrived on the 27th, in which this video may be pushed out a day later, I don't know. Now I just quickly want to go out on a limb here and say I think the $100 solar system tier is the most well worth your money, because you basically are pretty close to getting the full collection and still supporting the show without going bankrupt, of course. I mean, if you really want to pay at least like $900 more on like an exclusive card made for you, be my guest. With that said though, I'll start my overview with the first edition standard decks. So I'm actually currently holding the prototype that the team sent me to promote back in October, and this is what all standard decks will be like in the first edition. It'll of course come with directions on how to play and such, along with these assortments in order to play, including 1 star, 5 planets, 3 dwarfs, 12 moons, and 4 anomalies. By default, you'll of course be getting the sun, in which summoning is like the whole point of winning the game, but you'll also get the 5 rocky planets, including Pluto before 2006 edition, Ceres, Makimaki, and Haumea, and 12 rather obscure moons, including Phobos, Deimos, Amalthea, Thebe, Elara, Mimas, Hyperion, Miranda, Proteus, Galadia, Naiad, and Despina. I mean, I get it, but like, I feel like just at least one major moon like Luna should have been included in the standard deck, just to give a streak of luck when it comes to the attacks, just my opinion. And of course, you get these 4 anomaly cards standard, including a power to retrieve your top card from your grave, to get an extra action, to avoid an attack, and to spy on your enemy's cards. Now, if you're a Kickstarter supporter, you will get some extra exclusive cards for each standard deck, including a badge, a single rare, very rare, and ultra rare, and some pretty hilarious Christmas editions, as well as the contest winner cards. I should also mention that this is not a tutorial on how to play the game. I'm sure like most of you all know the goal of this game. There's literally 3 different videos explaining the whole game, so just go watch those, link below if you need insight on that. But my intent from this video is more of just a rundown of my whole collection after receiving both orders, and towards the end I'll also talk about some lesser known rules into the gameplay that weren't explained in those videos very well, so enjoy! Now for the exciting part. Unwrapping the booster packs. Now, unfortunately, I unwrapped my Kickstarter rewards off screen last Thursday because I was in a bit of a rush with personal stuff that day. But here I am recording my peaceful unboxing of my store order, and right away I get a duplicate Thea. Like, Thea's the confirmed rarest card. Like, what are the odds, right? But yeah, each 10-card booster pack should have a single ultra rare card greeting you in the front, along with 3 very rares, and the other 6 are common rares, I guess you could call them. Now this can be a real nerve-wracking experience, because I felt like I just got nothing but duplicate after duplicate until I like opened the last pack and got like a bunch of missing puzzle pieces then, so yeah. Now all unwrapped and sorted, here's what I got out of my 5 booster pack order. And here's what I previously got from all 10 packs for my Kickstarter reward. And again, I unwrapped them all off camera, so I'll never remember the exact order they came out of the packs from. Now, there are so many possible ways to sort a full collection like this, whether it would be by card number, or the different variants of each character, or by rarity, or simply by the order in which you unpack them. But I decided to go by the cards one by one in my own order, starting with the regular versions of the characters and working my way down to the more exclusive. So let's begin. And we start this off with the normal variants of the solar system. Well, not the full solar system, but you get what I mean, the main crew. So I already showed off the sun and the rocky planets because, well, they all come standard with the decks, so there's just a closer look at them as we go. As for the gas giants, obviously I did get duplicates of all of them because like they are exceptionally common to get. Like you're pretty much guaranteed to get all these guys if you were to get like the 5-pack bundle of the boosters. And from what I can remember unpacking them, I believe Saturn and Neptune came in the same one and Jupiter and Uranus came together. So yeah, they're pretty common. And they just all look so goofy and amazing. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of how Saturn looks. Like, I just feel like they made his eyes way too gosh darn big. Like, he just looks kind of out of place from everyone else. I'm not the first one to point that out, but hey, when playing battle mode, you definitely want to have these guys, especially Jupiter. Like, with that face he's wearing, he would not want to attack anyone. It's all up to the player. And then we got the inner system moons. So we got Luna over here. Obviously, I got a whole bunch. I got like quadruplets of Luna. He's very common to get, like probably one of the most common cards to get. So I was surprised that at first that he wasn't included in the booster pack when the cards were first delivered, but I suppose he's too big for his own good. So yeah. We also got the Dark Side of the Moon variant here, so he's a little more rare, a little more exclusive, but I did get duplicates of him. I believe I got both these duplicates in the Kickstarter package, so yeah. And then the standard 11 and 6, if you don't get the joke, just watch my stream with Eileen drawings. You must appreciate these guys though, because without moons, you can't even start the game even if they're tiny, so yeah. Then going down on the normal cards in order of orbit, we got Ceres, which comes standard along with the 3 common Jovian moons. Here's a closer look. Now we are talking. Here are all 4 of the Galilean moons. As you can see, they're not too terribly common. Now it's weird because both times I got Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, they all came in the same pack together and somehow Io was separate. So it kind of convinces me that Io is usually packed separate from the other 3, or maybe printed separately. I mean, I guess it does make sense too because like each booster pack has a maximum of like 3 of the very rare variants. So yeah. So yeah, it's kind of weird how Io was like the lone wolf, but I mean, hey. At least I did get the 4 of them at all, so yeah. I think out of the regular variants, I think these have to be the most beautiful in my opinion. Like, I don't know if it's just their designs, but they look good. They look good. Next up, we got this guy's moons. Now, as you can see, Saturn's moons take up a pretty hefty majority of the moon cards you can get, so I got at least 4 duplicates of most of them here. Now, both Mimas and Hyperion are the 2 you do get standard in the 25 decks, so I don't really need to go over them too much, but they look good, you know? Mimas be looking a little more expressive than the rest of them. Now, surprisingly, Titan was an exceptionally rare card for me to get. Like, first of all, I did not get Titan in any of my cards of my Kickstarter Reward, which I did get 100 booster cards in there. So out of the 100 booster cards I got from my Kickstarter Reward, I did not get Titan. And I think it was up until my 5 booster pack order that I finally got Titan in like the last pack I opened, along with Io. And I gotta say, out of 150 cards, I got more Theas than Titan. That's just kind of crazy. That says a lot. I know he's not crazy rare because like I've seen some of you get probably like triplets of Titan, but I think I just got a bit of the bad luck with Titan. But hey, at least I got 1 of him, so I'm grateful for that. As for the rest of these guys, they're pretty common. And also I want to mention how like, if you get 1, you're likely to get all these because a lot of them came out of the same pack when I unwrapped them. So yeah, full collection of Saturn's moons are pretty easy, maybe Titan the exception. I got like triplets from my Kickstarter reward plus like 1 of each from my 5-pack bundle. So now here's a closer look at all of them. You can see that their expressions feel a little dead inside, especially Dione over there. Iapetus looks pretty close to the show. If there were any true complaints with any of these cards, I feel like there's a missed opportunity to say Tethys is like the least dense moon in the solar system. I mean, I guess they kind of acknowledge its surface is mostly ice, but like kind of same with everyone else. And also, like in my opinion, Titan's probably more famous for its atmosphere and its methane lakes. I think famous for its underground oceans is more Europa's thing, but I mean, okay, maybe the whole trope in the show was like his underground oceans anyways, so I guess anyone's guess. Uranus's Mooney's next, and obviously Miranda comes standard in the deck. Now, I'm not happy to announce that Oberon, along with Rhea, have the most amount of duplicates out of my 150 or so booster cards that I got, with a total of 5. So just imagine I play like this. Just imagine my opponent just draws the Houston Anomaly card, and I gotta shell them all my cards. And when they see this, they're just gonna be like, "Hey, yo!" Nah, but seriously, that would be way against the rules. Like, seriously, Oberon's, like, my least favorite character of the show, yet I got the most amount of cards with him. Yeah. Now, here's just a closer look at the rest of them. So, I mean, they look fine. Ariel and Umbriel look adorable, and I don't really care about these two, honestly. I also would like to mention real quick that they pretty much got their description swapped, because like it even says on their radius that Titan's girlfriend is slightly bigger than Oberon, but yet it's saying Oberon is the largest moon of Uranus and Titan's girlfriend is the second largest moon. So I guess it's too late to fix that. I guess until the second edition cards come out and these guys are still included on it. So that's a pretty big goof, but well, what are you gonna do? Now, those of you who own a standard deck have definitely seen these, and you're probably sick of seeing Neptune's minor moons at this point, but here they are just up close for any of you who are interested in what they look like. Now, this really doesn't have to be said at this point, but I should mention how not all 13 of Neptune's smaller moons got a card for themselves. So maybe the rest of them will get their own cards, like in the second edition, if that becomes a thing. But for now, it's just these minor moons, Proteus, Naiad, Despina, and Gladia, who were lucky enough to survive getting their school picture taken on a card. So yeah. Eileen, this is for you. We got both variants of the Triton card. Now, it's just hilarious because the other day I showed my 11-year-old brother my whole SolarCards collection, and like he lost interest in the show like ever since like the Mission to Titan videos. So he has just not followed the show whatsoever, preceding those episodes into the Moon Revolution and stuff. So when he just saw these Triton cards randomly, he says, "Why is there a Secret Service moon in your collection?" And now I just can't unsee him. Triton actually does look like a Secret Service agent in these cards. But jokes aside, we got the moon variant of Triton, which I got pretty commonly. Like, usually you would definitely get Triton or Luna along with like probably the batch of Saturn or Uranus's moons when you get them from the packs. So yeah. In fact, I think I got both variants of Triton together in the packs I unwrapped. However, I got triplets of the Dwarf Planet variant. Now, speaking of which, here's most of the Dwarf Planets now. We got both variations of Pluto here. I got duplicates of the Dwarf Planet Pluto. And it goes without said that planet version of Pluto before 2006 already comes standard in the deck. God, he looks so depressed. Just compare that to Dwarf Planet Triton over here, which he looks so happy as a dwarf. Anyways, here's Pluto's companion, Charon. I got triplets of her. She's pretty easy to get, along with the moon variant of Triton. They both need to stick together, you know? Now we got the standard Haumea and Maki Maki over here. And then finally, Eris. I got duplicates of her. Boy, oh boy, have we made it. Have we made it to probably the best cards, my favorite cards. They're Planet X, I only got once, but you know what? I don't care. I'm thankful I got him at all. Like, just take a look. I'm just excited to play against friends and using Planet X to attack them. Like, that's gonna be fun. So he's tough, but you know what? He's on a card, so no one touch him. Thea! Thea. She's the confirmed rarest card, like I said earlier in the video. But somehow, I got 2 of her. Yeah, that's unheard of, right? Like, comment down below if any of you all got duplicates of Thea too. But in fact, something rather funny is besides the Moon Revolution variant of Luna, which honestly comes standard of any Kickstarter supporter deck you get. So if you think about it, he isn't really all that ultra rare. But besides him, Thea is like the only other ultra rare card I got in duplicates. So that's pretty special. I'm one lucky planet, if you will. Now, Eileen Drawings. Honey, if I were to give you one of these, you have to promise you're going to take extra good care of her. Just think of this as the emotional scene from Toy Story 3 where Andy gives up his childhood toy Woody. So just think of it that way, okay? Take good care of her. I know you will. So with that, we pretty much covered all the normal variants of the characters. So now we move on to probably the more specialized offshoot versions of the main characters. And I say that because like the main characters here got their more specialized card rather than just all of them just being their past selves or whatever. So we start with the more rare one, Pangea Earth. I was lucky to get duplicates of him because this is actually one of the cards I wanted so bad, and definitely one of my favorite cards, I'll say. And like Thea, we're probably gonna soon see Pangea Earth in the show when the next few arcs come up, and honestly I hope they make his asset as detailed as this this art piece right here, because honestly, look, they even gave him like volcanoes, and you could kind of see how the shape of the continents before they broke up and stuff. It's just cool. I do hope they make him this detailed in the show with giving him like volcanoes and stuff like that. It looks like his personality is probably going to be way different, so I'm excited. We also got Habitable Venus here. I only got duplicates of him. I pretty much got exact duplicates of like all seven of these coincidentally. So yeah, we got Habitable Venus, not necessarily terraformed, but this is like Venus in the past, you know, his younger self. So again, like Pangea Earth, we're definitely going to see Venus like this in the show, probably when he's only a kid, right? Like, yeah, around 3 billion years ago to up until like almost 1 billion years ago. So we could all just tell what his personality is going to be like in this early phase of his childhood, so yeah. We also, of course, got the terraformed variant of Mars here. Looks pretty good. It's obviously based on the arc we had in the show already. I mean, at least we got him on a card. I am wishing we actually saw Mars all terraformed in the show. Like, imagine how cool that would be. Like, I mean, I guess Mars, like Venus, did have oceans back then too, 3 billion years ago. So hopefully we also see a younger Mars in the show with habitable conditions. Now we got the gas giants over here, so I feel like these cards are pretty iconic indeed, and you're guaranteed to get these cards along with the normal versions over here. So if you get the normal versions, you're most likely to get their offshoot counterpart along with them. So yeah, that's a pretty good deal there. I'm gonna have to say the Crazy Jupiter card is like the only card out of all of them that actually feels a bit unsettling to me. Let's just say I feel like the more of a depressed Jupiter would have been a little better for this, like just a depressed lone wolf version or something like that with bigger eye bags and just more prominent dark patches under there or something. But him along with Smart Neptune are obviously referencing the Ordered by Size arc, which we had in the show. Smart Neptune and Stinky Uranus, I gotta say, are another one of my favorite cards of them all. They're just such lovable cards, I swear. Like, they have like pretty much the same description as the normal variants of them, but yeah. I realize the Stinky Uranus version is actually referencing quite a classic trope of episodes in the show, so it's pretty cool. And then we got Ringless Saturn, another favorite of mine. Yeah, at the end, I'm just gonna have to like kind of shout out my favorite cards. I'm gonna try to narrow it to the top 10 though. So yeah, Ringless Saturn over here. One rather missed opportunity is I felt like for the background behind Saturn, I feel like the protoplanetary disk should have been there, since you know, we saw Ringless Saturn in the Big Bang arc, but 400 million years ago, that's pretty long ago. I mean, like almost as long as when Venus was habitable and also had that background, but I mean, What's the big deal, right? Next up, we move on to the god variants of the characters now. Well, excluding the Dyson sphere, which I just included because it's like a sun variant. It's considered a star. So considering this is one of the most rare cards you can get, it looks like the Dyson sphere is, like Thea, is hinting for something we haven't yet had in the show. But in my opinion, I think this is just more mysterious. Like, is this thing actually going to come in the show? Like maybe in like a future solar system arc we might have or something, when the earthlings get, or when Ballkind, I should say, just gets so technologically advanced that they just somehow build this. So who knows? And then of course we got the Incas god Inti, the Egyptian god Ra, and the Greek god Helios for the sun variants. Now, if you're a Kickstarter supporter, Inti, along with the Moon Revolution Luna, should like already come exclusively with them. So yeah, not so rare. Oh boy, we have made it to the gods and goddesses now. Well, I mean, we covered the sun already, but like the main 8 now. As you can see, I got a few duplicates with some of them. Mars and Neptune, I somehow got 3, despite the fact that all of these are considered very rare. I almost said super. Here's the rocky planets up close here. Yeah, I gotta say, of course, the Venus one is iconic. These are seriously just like very beautiful cards. Like, honestly, out of all the god cards, I think Terra along with Venus has to be my favorite. Venus is just because iconic, and just Terra because I think it's just the most beautiful looking card in my opinion. Or maybe it's just because I only got like one of these, and it just makes it even more special, you know, just getting one. Now that I think about it, maybe I am like happy I only got one Planet X. I don't know. And here are the gas giants. I feel like the Jupiter one was like the card that was mentioned the most in like all the advertisements on the Solar Balls channel. So they all look freaking hot. Everyone has beards. I mean, of course, because they're the god versions, but just look at them. Beautiful. I mean, tell me Neptune especially doesn't like shampoo and condition every day. Just look at him. Look at him. I mean, he is the god of the sea, so like he probably showers every day. Yeah. Finally, hands down, my favorite variant of cards, I'll just say. Yeah. Not necessarily my all-time favorite cards, but definitely my favorite variant of the cards. Like, they are definitely some of my favorite cards for sure, but I'm gonna be honest here, seeing these off screen, I didn't think I would care this much for them, but now that I have them in person, whoo, do they feel special. Maybe also because I only got like one of each, because they are after all like ultra rare. Of course, the exception being Moon Revolution Luna, because if you're a Kickstarter supporter, you should get him standard in any 25 deck you get, despite being an ultra rare. So, buddy, it looks like you're not so ultra rare now. Now, a little coincidence on my end, I think Moon Revolution Titan was like the first like card I saw when I opened my first booster decks on my Kickstarter reward, compared to like the normal variant of Titan, which was like one of the last cards I unwrapped from my like 5 booster pack bundle. You know, Luna looking like he's not willing to put up without a fight to protect his planet, but sadly Titan looks like he's having more second thoughts than him. Yeah. These guys, though. These guys. Just look at them. They just look like they're absolutely beating themselves up, and I love that. like you can see Io right here, just willing to do all the dirty work. I'm gonna be honest here, out of all 6 of these, I think Europa has to be my favorite. I don't know, maybe it's just that beret she's wearing, or the fact that you can see like kind of the details where she seems to look the less beat up or the less heavily damaged out of all of them, like kind of like we saw in the show. She just looks like such a boss girl. She's just more commanding in the background than an actual like fighter, you know, just the one who commands. Ganymede, however, just looks like one of those bad piggies in my eyes. And Callisto just absolutely looks like she's just trying to dodge this COVID-infested place that is the Moon Revolution. But yeah, these cards are absolutely great. I'm just gonna treasure all these. Now, moving on from the God variants, we got the Dungeons and Dwarf Planets variants of the cards, I guess I could call them. So We've reached that point where I can announce like 2 of the 3 cards I am missing that I have not gotten yet, even after my 150. That being Sir Pluton and Lady Orisa, which I have yet to receive, and I'm debating whether it's like still worth like grinding for those cards or just simply waiting until more of them are sold on eBay. But I have actually just pre-ordered another 5-pack of boosters, which who knows when they should arrive, but I order them solely because I might do a stream while unwrapping them, because why not, right? So I'm gonna hope I get Sir Pluton and Lady Orisa, but for now I have yet to get lucky with those. I mean, they are ultra rare after all, so like no surprise there. But I did at least get Tritonius here, so which is an ultra rare, so there's something at least. I am giving this to Eileen though, because, you know, Triton with a hoodie. She's got to have the full Triton collection if she's Triton's #1 simper, so yeah. As for the rest, I got at least one other duplicate of them, so like they're rare, but not too uncommon to at least get duplicates sometimes. So we got Lord Solar Ball here. I'm gonna be honest, I think this might be my favorite Sun card, favorite out of all the Sun cards, because the Sun is the character with the most amount of variants. Coming in second place, we got the Earth. So I thought I should just mention that quickly. This is my favorite Sun. Just he looks so good in that, you know. Just the castle especially. It just makes him look ever so powerful. Like, yeah. We got Lord Venus here. Same description, just different artwork based on the Dungeons episodes. We got Saron the Barbarian here. Series. Again, same description, but yeah, just the Dungeons and Dwarf Planets exclusive. And finally, Maki the Storyteller and Hameus the Wizard. I realize that this is actually Maki Maker, Make Maker. Okay, enough with those. And of course, we can't forget about the Lego variants of the planets. So I want to believe that they just call them the brick versions to avoid copyright of the Lego brand itself. So yeah, we got Earth and Venus here, which are both ultra rares. So they're pretty rare to get. And kind of like I was saying with the Moon Revolution cards, I think these cards just look much better when you actually have them in your hands in person. I don't know. It's just one of those things where if you just see it on screen, you just tend to like just don't know what to expect. So, yeah, same description for both of them, just obviously based on the one episode. And then we got Luna here, the brick version, the Lego version, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, he's in the very rare category, so you're a little more likely to get him than the other two. In fact, I got him along with the normal variants of Titan and Io, if you remember my unpacking over there. So if I'm gonna be honest, Luna is just freaking adorable in this one. I love him. I think this is my favorite Luna variant card. If I'm honest, yeah. Like, I'm a big Lego fan myself, so you know what? I dig them. Now, I might as well just give you all a closer look at the limited variants of the cards that, as I explained earlier, you get them for free in each deck if you're a Kickstarter supporter. So they are limited time, so that probably means that this is the only time they will be produced. These are probably going to be collectibles, so you could probably make a fortune selling these off of eBay within the coming years. So yeah, they look pretty sweet. These are obviously the fan-made ones, along with the Anomaly card that was won from the SolarCards contest. This doesn't count as an action, but you can swap the place of any planet you have on the table with any planet you're currently holding in the hand. So you could like swap basically, like, for example, Mercury with Jupiter, so you have someone more powerful. Probably pretty useful card if the circumstances present itself, but yeah. And then we have the absolutely dorky looking Christmas variants right here. So like we got like the sun, the star on top of the tree, sort of sun. Phobos and Deimos, which ironically act like they would be elves in the show anyways. And of course, Neptune, Santa Neptune, and Rudolph Triton. Now, it's weird because I've always seen Jupiter more of the Santa type of character in the show, but I guess Neptune works too. No arguing that. And speaking of the Anomaly cards, we finally arrived to them last. So before I should start, I am missing one Anomaly card. So I already mentioned how the only other two cards I was missing was Sir Pluton and Lady Orisa. Well, the only other card besides those two that I am actually missing is the Moon Revolution card, which I believe, if I remember clearly, like you have to sacrifice 3 of your moons on the table to destroy, to be able to destroy any planet that your opponent has, even if they're protected. So I am hoping to get that card along with Sir Pluton and Lady Orisa, but we shall see when my my 5-pack boosters arrived and I do that stream. And if not, debatable whether it's still worth like kind of fighting to get that one or not. But we got most of them here, so I already kind of glossed over the default cards you do get in the standard 25 deck, so I don't really need to go over these, so we will set those aside. So I'm going to show the Anomaly cards in order of the number that you see right here. So these were obviously number 85 to number 88. Then we go number 89 and so on. And from what I remember, I don't think there's a specific order in which the Anomaly cards are unpacked with whatever other cards you get, but I do believe a lot of these Anomaly cards do come together in the same pack if I remember unpacking. So there might be like 1 or 2 or so booster packs with just mostly just Anomaly cards, or if not just Anomaly cards, but I got duplicates of some of them here. So we got the Planets plus Moon Anomaly cards. So this is basically pretty straightforward. If one of its moons is on the table, you can summon one of its planets for free. So for example, based on circumstances of your gameplay, if you have like Luna on the table and Earth in your hand, you can bring in Earth for free. Or if you have like Phobos, you can bring in Mars. Or if you have Titan, you can bring in Saturn. Or if you have like Proteus, you can bring in Neptune. You get the point. So I believe this card was already explained in the big video when Mercury faced off with Venus playing the game. So yeah, that's that card. Next up, we got the Rotsar card here. So I got a bunch of these actually. So basically, this card just allows you to choose a random card from your enemy's hand without looking and then send it to the bottom of their deck. So when your enemy is just playing against you, you just have to pick just whatever card and just send it to the bottom of their deck, and just in hopes that it's like their Sun card or some powerful card they could use against you. So it's kind of a matter of luck. Whereas most of these Anomaly cards are based on circumstances or when the opportunity presents itself. So next up, we got the Time Travel card. So this card would definitely come in handy if you're stuck in one of those situations where you just have all planets when you start the game, or towards the end of the game, you just are stuck with all moons and you can't really do much. So yeah, this Anomaly card just allows you to kind of burn it off in the ability to just send all your 5 cards to the bottom of the deck and just bring in 5 new ones from your pile. So yeah, it's a pretty nifty card. I mean, all of these cards are useful in some way, so just be smart with them. Use them when you feel like you need to. Just don't waste them when you feel like they're not going to do much. So that's just kind of my recommendations based on experience of playing this game quite a few times, so yeah. Nextly, we got the Dungeons and Dwarf Planets Anomaly. So this one's also pretty straightforward. Basically, it just allows you to bring in a dwarf planet for free without having to sacrifice a moon. I mean, not a very powerful card if you ask me, but I guess it's just a little shortcut to bringing in a dwarf planet. So yeah. Next up, we have the Gravitational Slingshot Anomaly. So if you think about it, this one works a bit similar to how the SAR one does, where you could retrieve your top card from your graveyard, except this card can only be used if you happen to have it like right after you were just attacked by your enemy. So this basically allows you to just kind of undo your attack and bring back that card you were just attacked if it was like a planet or whatever. And basically, it will then attack their weakest card. So if your enemy has like Phobos for their weakest card, it just yeets Phobos out, no matter where it's placed on the table. I assume that's how this works, but yeah. Now we got the Guillermo card, the Friendly Asteroid. So yeah, says it right there. Basically, summoning a planets or stars is forbidden for everyone until your next turn. So yeah, like until it's your next turn, like your enemies, whether you're playing with 1 person or up to 3 people, they just cannot summon any planets or stars until it's your turn again. So yeah. Next up, we have the Orbit Anomaly card. So yeah, this is relating to one of the mistakes I've actually been doing a lot when I first learned the game, where I just think I can like just move my cards on my table like however I want, like whenever I want. But until I realized you can only do that like at the very end of your turn. So basically, this anomaly just allows you to actually just move your cards on the table freely. Like at the start of your turn. I don't know if that gives you a limit to how much you can move it. I guess you can move it however you want, but you just, I guess, can't take forever to do it, you know? Nextly, we have the above zero and the sub zero. So I believe how these anomalies are supposed to work is they give you the ability to just attack your enemy's cards based on which card of them has the highest or lowest temperature, depending, of course, on which one of these you are using. So if your enemy has like Uranus as their coldest card, you can just attack your enemy's Uranus for free. And the same thing if they have like Venus or like, it doesn't just have to be these, but like any card who has either the highest or lowest temperature based on like, of course, their temperature, like you could see on like everyone's card there. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Now I have the Planet Crash Anomaly card. So yeah, now that I think about it, this is actually a very similar card to the Moon Revolution card, which I explained earlier that I actually don't have. But instead of sacrificing 3 moons, this card allows you to just sacrifice one of your planet to destroy any planet your enemy has. So yeah, you could sacrifice like, I don't know, Pluto before 2006 to attack their Jupiter, for example. So if you use it smart, this card can be pretty OP. Yeah. Now we have the Asteroid Dodgeball card. So I got a lot of these because this card actually does come standard if you're a Kickstarter supporter with the exclusive card. So you should be able to get this for free if you're a Kickstarter supporter and you got some 25 decks. But yeah, this allows you to bypass your enemy's defense. So if, like, for example, if their Saturn is being defended by Titan or whatever, you can use your Jupiter to attack Saturn anyways to and just bypass Titan. So so basically, this anomaly will be able to fuel anyone's competitive side, so use it when you can. And lastly, we have the 2 ultra rare anomalies I do have. So we have the Moon Club right here. So basically, if you have any moons in your hand, you can just like plop them all on the table. So there are some scenarios where you just have all moons in your hand, and I mean, you would have to have this anomaly in your hand to use it. But basically, if you have like 4 other moons in your hand along with this anomaly, you could just like use an anomaly and place all 4 of the moons on the table and do whatever you want. So yeah. And lastly, I do believe this is supposed to be the rarest anomaly you can get, the Astrodude anomaly. So like, yeah, if you have a planet in your hand, you can just like place it on the table for free. It's basically like same idea as the Dungeons card. So this allows you to place a free dwarf planet. This allows you to place a planet. So 2 kind of very different cards when it comes to the power, but hey, I mean, this one's rare, so we use it when you can. Now, I promised you all I would give you all my top 10 favorite cards if I absolutely had to pick, and here they are. So I tried to kind of balance it out from each category because I wanted to kind of be fair with my pickings. I didn't want to just choose like half my cards to be all Moon Revolution cards. So I tried to kind of even out like my favorite cards from most of the categories except like the dwarf planets, but there isn't really much dwarf planet cards compared to the rest. So let me know down in the comments who your favorite solar card is. I'm interested to see what you all have to say about it. So with that out of the way, I think we should move on to the actual rules of the gameplay now, the lesser known ones at least. Now, as said earlier in the video, the basics of the game I'm just not going to bother going over with because you can check out those videos, but I'm just going to go over, as I said, kind of the lesser known rules based on what Alvaro said on the Kickstarter, as well as from my personal experience, like what do I recommend when playing the game. So now, first of all, you might be curious on the minimum and maximum amount of players required to play this game successfully. So you do not want to play this game alone because obviously you can only have 1 sun card and that will just not be fair, and like like only the person with that sun card can win the game. So ideally the amount of players that can be played is between 2 and 4 players. Obviously, I believe that if you do play more than 4 players, you can do that, but it might just go on forever if you do it that way. So unless you're willing to be stuck for like maybe hours, I mean, go for it, I guess. Usually on a regular basis, I think 2 players is pretty reasonable. So you might also be curious about how long it typically takes to play the game before someone wins. So as stated, a casual match would take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. However, if you actually use your brain, it may take a little more because you need to kind of process all the thoughts and like predict what you're going to do next and what the best methods are. So it may take 20 minutes or more. Based on experience, though, I'm going to say it really varies based on the player's strategies and how experienced you are. So it's taken me and Eileen when we played together on the stream like up to like only 2 minutes Perhaps. I don't think a game of ours ever lasted more than 10 minutes unless we were just busy answering questions from y'all during the stream. So, that's kind of my take on that. As for how long it usually takes to learn the game, I would say this question also kind of varies based on the player and how much you process each rule and stuff. But kind of how I work is I wouldn't say the video necessarily helps, or much of the videos really helps. I think you actually have to have the game in your hand to be able to like actually learn how to play it for yourself, you know. And I'm kind of one of those guys that kind of just picks up the rules as I experience. So I kind of made a lot of mistakes and missed a lot of rules when I first learned how to play, along with Eileen. So I am a pretty fast learner, so learning the game based on my experience should not be a problem at all. But I do suggest first of all having the game in your hand and actually playing with someone. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Now, this is one rule I already explained earlier in the video, but these are the cards that are required to be played with, all adding up to 25 cards total. So it doesn't matter what kind of variant of cards you have, as long as you just have these specific cards in hand. So, for example, for my Sun card, as long as it's the star category, I could pick the Dyson Spheres for my one Sun card I have. Now, for my 5 planets card, I'm gonna pick Thea over here for one of them, obviously. Maybe Planet X too. I'll also pick maybe some Roman God Edition cards, so maybe I'll pick the Neptune God card, and I'll just pick Venus. And I think the last card I'll pick is Ringless Saturn. So nextly I need 3 dwarf planets, so I'll just pick Maki Maki of Stories. And I think I will also pick the dwarf planet variant of Triton, which is over here somewhere. There he is. So I'll just pick him and Eris. There we go, my 3 dwarf planets. I'll also need 12 moons total, so I think just for the fun of it, I think I'll just pick more of the bigger moons, because if you all have the standard deck, you're probably sick of the boring old small moons you start off with. So maybe I'll also pick the Moon Revolution variants of Luna and Titan, and I still have 6 more cards to go. So maybe Phobos and Deimos I'll just put in too. Few of Saturn's moons, maybe. I got my 12 cards at last, so I think we just need Anomaly cards. And just like that, I picked my 4 Anomaly cards. So yeah, 2 of them are kind of more to do with like attacking, kind of like defending yourself, and then the other 2 are just more of like kind of speed ups, you know. So we're in a perfect place to go over the next rules. So after you draw your 25 deck, you have to be sure you don't have duplicates of the same character, even if they're just different variants. So for example, if you have like Jupiter in here, you cannot also have the God variant of Jupiter. Like for example, I have the God variant of Neptune. I can't like put in Smart Neptune or Normal Neptune in here. Or like another example being, since I already have the Moon Revolution card, I cannot just use this Luna card with it. I actually did make this mistake when I was playing with a friend. So I mistakenly had the normal version of Luna and as well as the fantasy version. So that's something you cannot do. And I should also mention how this goes along with like the same character, just in a different category. So since I have like Triton, the dwarf planet version, I cannot have Moon version of Triton in my deck. So now, this is actually a rule I do recommend based on my experience, and that is, of course, to shuffle good. So you also should shuffle without looking too, and you can. The only time where you do look at your 25 cards is when you actually pick them out. But after you pick them out, you definitely want to be sure you shuffle good, because this is a common mistake that happens a lot, where when you just draw your first 5 cards, they're all either moons or all just planets and anomalies, and you can't really do much in that case. I suppose if you just have mostly moons, that's fine, because like that's the only way you can actually start the game, unless you have like an anomaly card, which requires you to like place a planet for free or something, and then you just keep drawing cards in there and always have 5 cards in your hand. And I know I look like I suck at shuffling, but I don't want to shuffle the fast way, because I don't want to damage these cards in any way. You could kind of see like they easily get scrapes on the corner, and I don't like that. So yeah, that's what you want to do. All right, for this rundown, I'll just pretend Venus is my opponent over there, because I have no friends. No, I'm kidding. So one rule that isn't very clear, and honestly, it's probably the most forgettable rule in my opinion, based on my experience. Because honestly, I don't remember a single time I actually remembered to follow this rule. But players cannot attack twice or 2 times in a row. So, for example, if they attack you on one of their turns, they're forbidden to attack on their next turn. So they can't just do it 2 times in a row. So basically, if you were already attacked by the opponent, this anomaly card would just be useless, because like they can't attack you on their next turn anyways, unless you're playing with like 3 or more people or something. So now, nextly, this isn't really much of a rule, but it's just more of my suggestion based on my experience. But you always want to be extra careful you're hiding your five cards in hand from your opponent from seeing them, because that's why I kind of recommend playing face to face instead of next to each other on the same table, because they will likely see your 5 cards anyways without drawing the Houston card, of course. Or no, that's not the Houston card. Here it is, for example. Unless they draw that, you be sure you hide your cards good from your opponent. Otherwise, they will see that you'll have the star card, and they'll probably pull some dirty stunt on you. Unless you want that to happen, of course. Now, nextly is a rule that probably a lot of you are also wondering too, if you don't know about. So if you're stuck in one of those scenarios where you just cannot do anything in your turn, like as you can see, I can't really do an action on my turn. Well, actually, no. I can place a moon if I want. There, now I can't do much. So if this ever happens, then you just have to sacrifice one of your cards. So I think I'll just sacrifice probably the temperature card. Never sacrifice your star card. And you gotta send your card to your graveyard and then get in another card here. So in this instance, I can do an action this turn. I can sacrifice Eris for Saturn, but if you still don't get anything good, then your turn is just skipped and it goes on to the next opponent's turn. So sort of like most card games like Uno, it works similar to that. So pretty straightforward. Now let's talk about attack and defense, because this is also something that's the hardest thing to learn about this game and something to get confused about a lot. So first of all, you cannot attack your opponent with a card that's being defended. So for example, I have Ariel here being defended by Phobos. I cannot use Ariel to attack the other Phobos, for example. I can't attack Hyperion because I would have to attack Mimas first, and Mimas would go to the graveyard, except I can't do that because Ariel's already being defended by Phobos. But I can use Titan, for example, the Moon Revolution Titan, to attack Mimas over here, and that goes to the graveyard. And also, of course, you gotta wait until the very end of your turn before you can like move your cards here, or like move one of your cards to defend another. So you can't just do that at the start of your turn unless an anomaly card presents itself where you can do that. So next rule regarding the attacks. So you can attack any card you want as long as you have a higher radius than that card. So it doesn't matter if they're different categories. So since I have Titan over here, since he has a slightly higher radius than Mercury over there, I can actually successfully use Titan over here since he's not being defended by another card and Mercury is vulnerable over there. I can use my action to attack Mercury and send him to my opponent's graveyard over there. So yet another rule relating to attacks. So you might be wondering, and this is also something a lot of you all are probably wondering, what happens if you attack the same card that your opponent has? So for example, I set up kind of something over here where both Phoboses are in the defensive position. So if you decide to use your Phobos to attack your opponent's Phobos, basically both the cards have to be sent to the graveyard. So that's kind of how that works. So it's just kind of a disadvantage for both of you if you ever do that. So yeah. And last rule on here when it comes to the anomaly cards. So you're also probably wondering if anomaly cards count as your action. Well, typically no. Some anomaly cards will tell you that that you can summon a planet for free for your action. So if it says you have to do it for your action on the anomaly cards, that means that's your action you have to do. However, if it doesn't say anything like that, for example, if I want to use the planets plus moons card, you can just use this card for free, place it on the table, and since Titan's on the table, I can just bring in Ringless Saturn. I could just draw 2 more cards over here, and then I just have my action to do. So, yeah, I'll just bring in Iapetus to protect one of them, and then always have 5 cards with you. That's one obvious rule. Now, nextly, we move on to more of the tips rather than the rules. So you don't necessarily have to do these, and I already mentioned my suggestions, which none of them were rules, even though I mentioned them with the rules. But my top 3 suggestions when playing the game based on my experiences. Number 1, shuffle good. Number 2, ideally you would want to face your opponent so you don't accidentally see their cards. So don't really play next to each other unless you want to, of course. But Number 3, don't hold back and be Mr. Nice Guy. So like when the opportunity presents itself, just win when you can. If you have 3 planets, just don't just back off and let the game last forever. Just win when you can. Otherwise, your opponent might win their very next turn, and it would be too late for you. So that's happened to me many times. So it can be fun if you really want to do it that way, go for it. But those are just my 3 tips. As for all the tips written down on the Kickstarter, so firstly, you ideally want to choose your Anomaly cards that you have based on your style of playing. So for example, if you're more like aggressive against your opponent, you'd probably just want to just have more cards related to defense. Or if you're just more speedy and just want to win quickly, you just have more anomalies that will benefit you more than bring down your opponent. So yeah, if your opponent also has some pretty powerful anomalies, it's a fair game then. So yeah, like you can either just have the games more powerful for both of you, or more basic for both of you. And the anomalies are definitely all in your brain. So you wanna use your brain when using your anomalies. So don't waste them. So if you already have like gas giants, for example, on the table, and your opponent has like little rocky planets, this card might just be kind of pointless. Not the best time to use it. So next recommendation: don't defend the most powerful card on the table. So if you have the most powerful card on the table, you really there's really no point in defending it, because there's my opponent has no chance unless they bring in like a Jupiter or something. Then your Saturn is really vulnerable. And always have your most powerful card like either don't worry about them being exposed, whether they're just in normal attack or defense. Next suggestion is always protect your dwarf planets. So obviously, dwarf planets are a huge shortcut to summoning planets, because you just need to get rid of 1 moon for a dwarf planet, and then just get rid of that dwarf planet for a planet. So it's actually a very OP shortcut, because it probably requires like 9 moons to be able to get 3 planets, and who knows how long that would take. So always have your dwarf planet protected. That's the smart thing to do. Moons being exposed should be the least of your worries, because moons are just that easy to just bring in for free. So yeah, I have a moon in my 5, so I can just bring it in as simple as that. So you shouldn't have to really worry about moons, more or less like your dwarf planets, for example, which you need to worry about protecting more. And maybe same for smaller planets too. Like for example, if my opponent has like Mercury, for example, and I have Saturn, you definitely want to protect Mercury as well. So yeah, smaller planets or dwarf planets, ideally you would want protected. Use moons mostly for defense is what this tip's all about. So it's just strategies, not necessarily rules. You can, of course, play how you want. Of course, have fun. That's the most important rule. Just have fun. Oh boy, it's pretty much safe to say we've concluded my hour-long video of my whole SolarCards grand tour of both my collection and some of the lesser-known gameplay tips and rules. So, what a train ride I was not expecting. In conclusion, I think this is just a super enjoyable game, and I highly recommend trying it out even for non-astronomy geeks. So I think it's just like a perfect blend of collecting, trading, and gameplaying, with of course some educational elements sprinkled here and there. I think the team behind the creation of this game just did a super amazing job. And to be completely honest, I don't know how fond I am with how much the promotion of these cards mixed in with the actual stories of the show itself, but I definitely advocate for this creation, and honestly, I can't wait to see what other potential this game may have to offer. Please let the second edition of SolarCards just bring in the newer characters outside of the solar system into the gameplay. Like, we also need a Metis card, I feel like. The rest of Neptune's moons would be nice. Maybe a trash ring variant of the Earth, and maybe some baby variants of the characters, and possibly even some extended gameplay modes into this game. Like, maybe you could sacrifice 3 stars for like a black hole galaxy or something. Like, imagine a Sun Trophy Anomaly where you could just place a star for free. That would be interesting. Now, back on topic, as explained earlier, I definitely plan to do some more gameplay videos and streams in the near future, basically just battling against friends, and maybe I'll also try out trivia mode too, especially since I'm sending Eileen a lot of my duplicates and stuff, so I'll be able to play along with her in videos a lot of the time. So And I know it's going to be probably at least a month before my other 5 booster packs arrive, but I definitely plan to do a stream unpacking those, and in hopes I get those 3 missing souls. Well, I guess technically 4 now, but with all that said, you all have probably heard enough of me talking for a full hour, so I hope you learned something new from this video, and of course, let me know down in the comments who your favorite SolarCard is and what you plan to see, and like just your experience on the whole game. I'm excited to read your comments, so with that out of the way, I will see you all soon. So, peace.